Yeah. Definitely the first place I saw him was Buffy.
Yeah.
So
he plays like a grown-up version in this series. Like you know, like he was like a kid in Buffy, and then this is like that kid growing up. This is what he ended up being.
He kind of plays the same guy in everything. Like he's in Billions, and he plays the Secretary of the Treasury. And he basically plays the same guy, like a little guy who's, got a chip on his shoulder because he's small and he gets a little bit of authority, a little bit of power, and goes mad with it, sort of thing. Yeah.
I don't think it's like almost like because I don't think I've ever run into anybody like that, but who knows, right? Like in real life, but maybe it's like just an enhancement of, people with the Napoleon complex.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And he plays that. Look, he's probably the fact that he plays it so well on TV tells me that he's not like that at all in real life.
Yeah. He's probably, exactly. He's probably like one of the cooler dudes or whatever.
I have a feeling you're right about that. And now completely loaded. So good for him. Probably never has to work again. So, all right. So that gets us through our episode basics. So let's get to the week of January 28th, 2014 and see what was going on in popular culture at the time.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
We did. And so this week, we got more of the same this week for our number one movie and our number one top 40 song. Ride Along is still our number one movie. It's week 3, $95 million it's grossed so far. So almost $100 million for Ride Along. And Timber with Pitbull and Kesha, it's week 3 of it on the top 40, number one top 40 song. So not a lot of change there. And of course we have our Florida man story of the week. And this week it comes to us from, Palmetto, Florida. It's naked man runs through Dunkin' Donuts, police say. And the subheading is a surveillance video showed that the man only wore a pair of shoes and socks in the donut shop. So basically, I mean, it's a weird story because it's basically just a streaker. A naked man who hid his face with a white shirt ran through a Dunkin' Donuts shop in Palmetto, according to media reports. A surveillance video showed that the man did have shoes and socks on, but nothing else when he entered the donut shop at 6:12. Blah, 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 the Bradenton Herald reported. The streaker did not stop and order a donut or try to linger in the store. Apparently, they turned over video to the police. They haven't identified the suspect. It occurred on a Monday night, so that's always fun.
No shoes, no service.
That's right. But he had shoes and socks, and he had a shirt that he was using to cover his face. So technically... No shirt, no shoes, no service. He's not breaking the rules.
Give him the glazed donuts, please. Half a dozen.
Something tells me he's glazed donuting something. Dude running around naked in a Dunkin' Donuts.
I don't know. You know what? In the past couple of years, like people have just gone crazy, right?
It's true.
And maybe, I don't know if it's because there's more video cameras out there, but you can look on YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, and people are just acting crazy.
Well, remember, it was not that long ago, I feel like. It was like maybe 2018, 2017, something like this. This story, by the way, is from January 25th of 2013, which is pretty close to when we're talking about for this episode. But you remember when like Ariana Grande got in trouble because she was licking donuts in like a donut shop or whatever?
Yeah.
And like they caught it on camera and she was talking about how she hated America or whatever. Didn't that happened, right?
It did happen.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. And now it's like completely forgotten that was a thing.
I know. You know what? That's true because everybody says that the internet lives forever.
Yeah.
But hey, collectively, people are past it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's totally weird. I hadn't thought about it for a long time until I read this article, or until I saw this article. And I was like, oh, didn't Ariana Grande do something like obviously she wasn't naked. That would have been a much bigger story if she was. The internet would not have forgotten that if Ariana Grande were naked in a donut shop.
They might have, like 10 years later or whatever.
I wouldn't have.
It's amazing that she's been around for like, because who was I? Oh, Usher, right?
Yeah.
He has a residency in Las Vegas.
Yes, he does. At the Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, and I can't believe that we've been like he's been around since he was a kid. So he's somebody who's had a great career. But it's just funny that you remember that he was like a kid when he first like came onto the scene or whatever.
Yeah,
and here he is, like playing Las Vegas. And it's like when I always think of Las Vegas, I think it's all like older acts or people who are not maybe past their prime or whatever. But here's this guy, and we're like all around sort of the same age, It's like, okay, well, we're all been around for a while, so because I'm saying.
Well, you know that song, yeah, right? His giant super mega hit that's everywhere, and you still hear it everywhere. That was from 2004. So that song is 18 years old. Yeah. It's about to be 19 years old in January. So it's in college at this point. Peace up, A-Town down. That's all I have to say about that.
That's right.
I love that song.
I know.
I was on a work trip, and that song came on in the a bowling alley because we were doing like a team building activity,
Uh-huh.
And so we're in a bowling alley, and that song comes on, and I look at the people around me, and I go, "Just so you guys know, I know every word of the Luda part."
That's like, remember that song, My Neck, My Back? My neck, my back.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that video of the lady. She's like I don't know, like preparing a meal for her kid who's in a high chair, and then the beat comes behind it, and she's like singing that or whatever, and then the lyrics come over, and they're very family friendly.
Yes.
You know the one I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. That's probably one of the best bits that I've seen in a while.
I do love the family, the absurdly pornographic lyrics when there's a kid around. Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I think this is a real thing that happened. And I'm relying on our listeners to fact check me because I'm not going to Google it while we're recording the podcast. But I'm pretty sure there's a Kids Bop version of Wet Ass Pussy.
Nah.
I am almost positive there is. It's obviously not Wet Ass Pussy. They completely changed everything, but the lyrics and the rhythm and the lyrics, or the rhythm and the music remain the same.
Kids Bop, WAP.
Yep.
There's some hoes in this house. Okay. All right. We'll have to see.
I'm almost positive there is one.
All right, Internet. Here's the challenge.
Let us know. Groundlesspodcast@gmail.com. So, okay, well, let's get into this episode because there's a lot going on here. So, again, much like the last couple of episodes we've talked about, there's a lot going on. And I think, we had talked a little bit before we sat down to record that you thought this episode and the next episode were pretty good. You enjoyed them.
I think that maybe because when we started the season out and everything was kind of like there were a bunch of threads and everything else. So I think things are just coming together, and a lot seems to happen in these next two episodes. The next one especially, but this one too. You can see where things are going, and that's good.
I think between these two episodes, I kind of think of these episodes as cleanup episodes. Yeah. Like all of those plot lines, all of those little threads that they started us with in the first and second and third episodes of the season, they're kind of starting to show how they tie together. Yeah. And what the eventual end game for the season's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think they're better. They're better than the first few. I still don't think these are exceptional episodes. I think the back half of the season actually gets to be a little bit better though, with a few exceptions. Yeah. There's a few things.
Well, even the last time we recorded, I think I told you, I go, you know what? I don't know if this season it hasn't surprised me, like as far as like, but I think these episodes are pretty good for what they are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know when we were talking about season 4, we were both surprised to remember or to discover how good it was.
Yeah.
when we watched it again, right? Yeah. We knew it was okay, but we were surprised that how good it was when we rewatched it. This one, like you said, not really surprised. Yeah. It's just kind of, it is what it is. Yeah. I have my issue with Daryl Crowe Jr. But
it's Michael Rappaport. Yeah. But it's, as we've said multiple times, it's not that the season is bad relative to all the television out there. It's just that maybe compared to some of the other seasons of Justified.
It's still like 95th percentile of TV shows, even when it's at its weakest, right? Yeah. So
except for Michael Rappaport.
Except for Michael Rappaport and his bullshit Florida hillbilly accent.
Now he does. Have you seen that? The Pot Brothers lawyers. He did film a commercial, and basically and you can see this on YouTube or whatever. Just Google like Pot Brothers at Law or something like that. They're marijuana lawyers, and basically the whole spiel is, hey, anytime you interact with cops or whatever, this is what you're supposed to do. Shut the fuck up.
Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, but I mean, maybe in general, that's probably a good idea, but just that's what the tagline is. Shut the fuck up.
Well, cause I've seen those Pot Brothers guys TikToks from time to time.
Oh, you have?
And so I've seen like the shut the fuck up. Yeah. I've seen that.
And Michael Rappaport does a public service when he appears and does that whole commercial.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good for him then.
Yeah.
I'll give him some credit for that.
Yeah, give him some credit, Chris, instead of no.
Don't talk to the cops, people. That's a good answer.
That's probably a good answer.
Yeah. All right.
and we have an attorney saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't talk to the cops. Just don't do it. They're going to try to talk to you. That's their thing.
Yeah.
They like to come up and, hey, I just want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
How about I see some ID? How about you show me some ID? Yeah. That's their next. They want to have a conversation, but the next words out of their mouth are, "Do you have any ID on you?"
Yeah, yeah. Or can I search your car?
Yeah.
Or can I,
I thought we were just having a conversation.
Yeah.
I thought we were just talking.
It's just practice.
That's all it is. Not a game. Not a game. Oh, it's 2 weeks in a row we're talking about.
I know. Ted Lasso.
All right. So what happens in this episode? So the first scene that we get, Dewey got Messer out in the woods. So if you remember at the end of the last episode, Messer's duplicity, I guess, is exposed. He's been skimming for Boyd and ratting to the feds. And Daryl thinks that he needs to be killed for that. And he charges Dewey with that, with killing Messer. So Dewey drags Messer out to the woods voluntarily. Messer goes with him because he tells him he has money buried in the woods. And Messer, being the simpleton that he is, believes him. And he's like, oh yeah, it's right here. This is where the money is. He doesn't even spend any time looking for it or like pretending to like see a landmark or anything like that. He's like, oh yeah, it's just right here. Hang on here. I'm going to go back and get something out of the car. And then he comes back and Dewey has him start digging with his Weebelo shovel. and so that's our word of the week this week.
You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Yeah, it's Weebelo. And so Weebelo, Webelos. And those of us who were in the Cub Scouts know what a Weebelo is. So right when you're in the Cub Scouts, right before you are eligible to go become a Boy Scout, you can be a Weebelo. And that's like the promoted Cub Scout that's ready to go be a Boy Scout. So it's basically like 4th, 5th grade, because I think Boy Scout starts in 6th grade. And that's your quote unquote rank when you're in the scouting program. It's right before you join the Boy Scouts of America. You're a Weebelo, which is a weird thing to call a 10 or 11-year-old boy, but
Yeah.
I do love Messer here. They run me off, but I kept my shovel. It's because of course the scouts ran off Messer. So we actually have a second word of the week that we'll get to a little bit later too, because I think it was too important to not include. But anyway, so Messer's digging with his Weebelo shovel, and he gets a little bit of digging done. Dewey pulls out his gun, shoots him. There's a struggle because he doesn't kill him with his first shot. There's a struggle. Dewey beats him with the shovel, goes back to the car to get something to dig with to bury Messer's body. So first of all, Dewey being Dewey, doesn't wait for Messer to dig